Hello, and welcome to another game development broadcast for Project CSK. Of course, this is going to be another development broadcast for the project, and I am the creator of the project. The online name that I go by is Des. We're going to continue working on the project, but this one is going to be this broadcast, and probably maybe the next one or so, until I get some more pixel art done, is going to be focused mostly on the pixel art portion of it. I did have an opportunity to work on some of the pixel art in between the last broadcast and this broadcast, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that. But the pixel art stuff, there's some challenges, some things that need to be addressed, right? Because what I'm doing is I'm taking the old graphics and using them as a point of reference to make new artwork, right? And the new artwork, I don't want it to be exactly the same thing as what it was before. I want it to be something that's similar, but also something that's appropriate for the project in what it's going to be. So if I can direct it more towards the direction of where I would like it to be, then this can be seen as an opportunity to make any of those adjustments that I couldn't make before that I now have the opportunity to make. So there's definitely some advantages in that. And I want to take full advantage of this opportunity and utilize it for what it is. So what I did, of course, is first thing I did was bring in the kind of the bubbles and the items and stuff of how they were before, and I started recreating some of them. I started off with the bomb, of course. So we started off here, of course, just a basic outline, and then a little bit of fill of coloring, and then this is kind of where it was before, but it wasn't quite exactly what I wanted it to be. It was very close, but not exactly where I wanted it to be, right? And then I made this version, which I think is much closer. There's still a bit more that I would like to do to it, but it's very much, I would say, in terms of the direction of where I would like to go with it. There's only minor differences between this one and this one, but I think the differences are noticeable, and they're definitely something of value. And then from there, I went and I brought in all the bubbles and the pickup items, because we're focusing on the game room. And then I started with the blue bubble first. You can see I kind of, to some degree, followed it, like tracing it almost, but not exactly. So it's similar, but not quite. And then I went with the boots. So we started off here, moved on a little bit here, but then I realized it's not really what I want. For move speed, I want it to be more like runners, right? Like running shoes, more closer, I would say, symbolizes speed, right? So then I started off with the shoe, made a couple of adjustments, added a little bit of wings onto it. And then this one was okay, but still not quite what I wanted. So I went and I adjusted the wings a little bit, tried a different combinations, adjusted the shoe a little bit more, and then this is where we're at right now. And here's what it looks like when it's actually in there. So it looks pretty good, I think, in terms of how it's supposed to look. Of course, there's no transparencies on this. You can't do transparencies within an image when it's applied to a quad, because it's a texture. It's either 100% visible or it's completely transparent. So I'm going to use a bit of a layered technique to see what I can do, because this is in layers. So this consists of 3 layers. There's the highlight layer on top, which you can hardly see. But let me bring that and make it more visible. So this is the highlight layer, right? But this is going to have a transparency applied to that whole layer, which is what we can do. But we can't apply transparency to one pixel and not to another when dealing with textures. So it's either going to be fully transparent, meaning not there, or it's going to be solid. But what we can do is we can apply transparency to the layer via the alpha channel. So that I will be looking at. So this, I'm going to re-enable it and put it to, I think, 128 there. Okay, so that's one layer. The other layer is the graphic itself, so the icon that goes inside of it. and then the bottom layer being the base of it. So this will also be made transparent. So this will be made transparent and this will be made transparent, while the shoe itself will not be made transparent. And that will somewhat simulate a similar style to how these were done, because the bubble is transparent, but the object inside is not, so it makes it stand out a bit more. And then from there, I went and had my attempt at the power up. So it's like kind of like a fireball, but not exactly. But it really, the closest thing to it is probably a fireball. And what I did is I first started off mimicking it pretty much nearly 1-to-1, but then I don't really want that graphic. So I tried messing around with it. I tried simplifying it and removing some colors and then adjusting the overall look. And this is kind of where I settled at right now. And this is what it looks like. Same idea. It's 3 layers when it's inside there. It'll look a little different when the base has a transparency of probably something like this. And then you can kind of see the background a little bit, while the front has a transparency of, oh, that already has it. So the front will have a transparency like this. So it'll kind of look like this. But I don't know, maybe I might make it more noticeable, like this instead of, or this. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see what transparency level we'll leave the layers at. But for right now, it's just this, because I'm just focused on drawing it itself. So that gives us the explosive. That gives us 1 power up and 1 blue bubble. And that gives us the other power up with the red bubble. So there's a bunch more to go. The bubbles are pretty easy. It's just copying the colors over in a way that kind of makes sense. So that's not really too difficult, because once you've made one, you've kind of made all of them. So it's pretty trivial to do. But what is not easy to do is creating the graphics themselves. That's challenging. And that's what I'm going to be doing today, or continuing on today, should I say. So we got the boot, the speed power up, which is looks very different now. So we have that. And then the next one was this. And then probably go with an easier one, I think. Maybe go with the block, because we already have the blocks over here, specifically the gray blocks. I'm kind of hoping I can just take it and scale it and then make it look good. And that should be hopefully adequate, is kind of what I'm thinking. So let's see how that works out. And then we'll continue with the rest of them, because there's 8 total that we need to do. So we've got 2 of them. So we're a quarter of the way there. We just need to do the rest of them. And like I said, the bubbles are pretty easy, but these, the icons themselves, I do want to deviate to some degree, because we're no longer dealing with vector graphics. We're dealing with pixel art. So it's not going to be a 1-to-1 translation, but at the same time, I do want it to look good, and I want it to be appropriate for the game. So let's get to it and see how we're doing. For those of you that are here, hello and welcome. Feel free to say hi, or if you want to just hang out and watch me work on the project, you're definitely welcome to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep working on the project, and I do this kind of for you guys as well as for me, because this is a learning opportunity for me to learn how to broadcast and just kind of experiment with technology as a whole and share it with you guys, so you get a behind the scenes look at it. So that's kind of the idea with this, in that I'm just here to share what it is that I'm working on. I'm by no means an expert. I am learning this stuff as I go along myself. So there's a lot for me to learn, whether it's Sprite, programming, art, colors, whatever it may be, all of this. I'm learning it as I go along, right? So what I need to do here is I need a flattened version of this, actually. Yeah, I need a flattened version. I think I have one exported. Let's see if it's there, or if it's at least where I think it is. Because this one here right now, this is in layers, and I don't want it in layers. I just want it flat. It's okay if it's not in layers. I don't need the layers for the use case that I'm going to get out of it right now. So let's open a sprite. Oh, okay. So let's go over here, open directory, and we're going to open this one. Okay. And that's what I want right there. So we'll take this, bring it into this one here, and then we'll go place it right here. So that one I'll keep as just kind of my starting point as a reference. I no longer need this. Guess I can close that as well. Okay, so with that then, what I want to do is kind of scale it down to something that makes sense, because it's going to go inside of this thing. All right, so let's see. I guess I should scale it proportionally. I know it doesn't look great like this, but we'll make it, okay, I don't know what I did there, but we'll make it look good, is what I was going to say. So about there, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not, again, what I wanted to do. I keep pressing am I pressing the wrong button or what? I must be pressing the wrong button. Okay, so no, you're supposed to scale proportionally. There we go. That's the right button. Okay, so about this size, roughly. Maybe even one smaller. No, let's go with this. Actually, let's go with this. Does that fit? Yeah, that kind of fits. I don't want it to be too big, but I also don't want it to be too small. Let's try this and see how this looks. Okay, so of course there's some differences in the details. So we'll have to kind of consider that when doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this line over to about there. I'm going to move this line over to about here. I'm just exaggerating some of the features while trying to preserve the overall aesthetic of it. So it won't be a direct one-to-one, of course, but I think we can get it to look fairly respectable. It's just a matter of tweaking it and kind of figuring out what we want it to kind of look like. I think that's okay so far. Let's see. I kind of like this better on this side. Yeah, let's do that. So what we'll do is we'll take and then take that and bring it down to about, oh, I see, we don't have a line differentiating. Okay, let's use this then. Nope, not dark enough. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take this one, make it a little bit darker. I just want it to stand out is what I want. Okay, I think that's an okay start. So now we need to kind of get the face in place. But what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to keep tweaking it, just going to actually copy it over just so I can see the progress. I find that helpful to look at it iteratively. That way, if I make a mistake, I can just look at where I was before and adjust my trajectory moving forward. So let's see how this looks. I think that looks pretty good. Actually, that really doesn't look that bad. I think it's a passable for now. What I could do is I could move the face up a little bit. I just don't know what value that will bring. So let's try it and just see, does it bring any value to do this? Meaning, does it look better? It looks okay, but I kind of like the other look with the face being a bit more dominant in the middle area. Specifically the eyes and the mouth. I think it gives a different aesthetic feel to it. Yeah, I think I prefer this one. Okay, so let's see what we can do about the lines. Some of them seem to be a bit too strong. Like this one. Oh, is it my layer? Oh no, did I export it with the wrong layer? No, that's how strong it is. Wow, that's a really strong line. I don't think it's supposed to be that strong. This white part, it's not supposed to be full white. I think it's supposed to be a bit grayish. Somehow it ended up being super light. Yeah, I think that makes maybe a bit more sense, or maybe a tiny bit lighter. Let's see if we can make it a tiny bit lighter. I just don't want it to be completely white. Yeah, that's fine. And then what we'll do is we will, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Put that there, just, it's a minor detail, but I think it does make a difference. Or we could even go like this. No, I think black makes more sense. Okay, so that's our icon right there. What do you guys think? I think it looks good. For a smaller version of it anyway, I do think it looks appropriate. And I've had people ask me before, what am I listening to music and what am I listening to when I'm broadcasting? I'm always listening to music when I'm broadcasting every single time. I just don't put it through the broadcast feed because I don't want to get a strike. But if you're curious as to what I'm listening to, you can just ask. I'm listening to YouTube, JRPG, Search, and there's some really good ones that people have made, like these 4-hour tracks and whatnot, or a list of these really classic games. I find it's very relaxing and helpful to kind of get into the zone for the project itself, both for programming and for artwork. But of course, I listen to different kinds of music. I'm not always listening to that. Okay, so with that, let's make the bubble. Let's make the bubble. So this is what I'm doing. Like I said, for the bubbles, it's a lot easier. It's almost copy and paste and then copy the colors over, because conceptually they're very similar. It's just a matter of choosing which colors do you want to have. And then it's very easy to, make the bubbles, and it's very easy to make a mistake. Okay, and then the outer color, we'll go with probably this one for that, and then this one for that. Yeah, I think so. Oh, and another thing I learned is how to use the search and replace. So you select the area, hold shift, press R, it gives you the pop-up. So I want to replace this color, and I want to replace it with this color. Done. Wow. Took me a lot longer than it should have to figure that out, but it is so helpful to just be able to do a search and replace in an area that you have selected. It saves you a lot of time, really, is what it comes down to. And then we'll go for the highlight. Oh, I didn't make the highlight yet. So I'm just going to grab that, bring it over. Of course, it's going to be the wrong color. So what I'll do is I will probably take the lightest point here. And make that the highlight. This layer is going to have a 50% transparency or so, something like that. Oh, one of the pixels is covering up where it shouldn't be. Right here. Okay, so this layer will be at about this level. Yeah, so there's our bubble, the gray bubble. Okay, and then what I like to do is see what it actually looks like when you put it together. So we got our bubble, we got our highlight, and then we got our icon. Okay. And I intentionally have this layer on top because it adds a little bit of detail. However minute, it kind of overlaps with the icon in the upper left corner a little bit if the icon extends that far. Like on this one, you don't really notice it because it just misses it. On this one, you also don't really notice it because it just misses it. But where you do catch it, it's a nice little detail. It's very subtle, but it is there, and I do like it. So there's our other power up or pickup item for the game room, and I think it looks pretty good. So that's 2 of them. The other ones, unfortunately, are not as easy to do. They require a bit more effort. So let's try it. The jelly bean is probably going to be the more difficult one. I don't know. I have a feeling about that. I put a lot of time in making this in vector format. It actually looks really good in vector. Like all of these, I zoom into the maximum and try to get it to be pretty much point-to-point accurate. So when you scale these up, they look really good. And that's one of the things I like about vector graphics, but you can't really do that with pixel art, but pixel art has a different charm to it. It has a certain style, like when you zoom in, right? I think that still looks pretty good when you zoom in. It's not the same as vector art, of course, but it still looks pretty good in my opinion. At least I think so. Let me just fix these before I forget. Where's the other one? Oh, I thought I had a red bubble right here. Okay, that's fine. All right, so next one. I guess it doesn't really matter. We can just pick one and go. So maybe the popsicle. I think the popsicle is probably a good choice for the next one. And then in the end, of course, I'm going to put all of them side by side and see about making any tweaks and adjustments at that point. So we'll see. I think though the popsicle is probably a good next one to go for. So let's give it a try and see what we can do. So what I do is I just pick basically a really dark color of the current color intentionally because I'm just going to do an outline, right? So we'll make a line from there to about here. And then I'll go in and I'll do the other details afterward. For right now, I just want to kind of capture this as much as is realistically possible. Okay, so that would be at that point, and then probably here for the outer little bit. So this will be the white area, and then the sticks that stick out. So I think that's kind of our popsicle right there. So let's fill it in a little bit. So color-wise, I'm just going to grab that. I will, of course, add some more variation to the colors and whatnot. But for right now, I just want to see what I can do about capturing the kind of the essence of it. It doesn't need to be perfect by any means. We're not going for perfection here. I'm just going for something that looks good, really, is what I'm kind of going for. And if it looks good and it's a pass, then that's good enough for me. It's the best I can ask for. So I hope you guys are looking forward to the weekend. I know I am. It's going to be a bit of a busy weekend for me. But then also next weekend is going to be a long weekend, which I'm looking forward to always, because long weekends are great. It's something that I really enjoy, being able to have some time to do the things that I normally wouldn't be able to do just because of time restraints and whatnot. There's only so many hours in the day, right? So you have to make use of your time as best as you can, because the day just goes by so fast in like a blink of an eye, right? Like when you get up, you do your morning thing, you go to work, you do whatever that needs to be done for work. And then after that, you come home, you do your routine, eat, shower, and all of that stuff. And then just like that, the day's pretty much gone already. You don't really get time for yourself to do, the things that you really want to do, or if you want to just relax and whatnot. You don't really get that kind of luxury in this day and age. It's like you really have to, if you want to do something, you really do have to make time for it. And it's sometimes really difficult to do when you only get a 2-day weekend, because Friday is usually pretty much a write-off. Saturday is catch up on responsibilities and whatnot that you need to do, and you get a little bit of time for yourself. And then Sunday is grocery shopping, laundry, cleanup, all of that stuff. And then that's it. The weekend's gone, and you're back to work the next day. And it's like, well, where did the time go, right? And it just goes by so quickly. And it's important to try to make use of your time, because time is something we all get the same of pretty much in any given day. Oh, it seems like I kind of missed some spots. But oops. But once it's gone, it's gone. So let's make the best use of it. Okay, so there's my starting point of my popsicle. I think that pretty much captures the essence of that popsicle, but it's too big. I'm gonna have to scale it down and make it fit into. I still missed some pixels. Wow. Okay. How did I miss so many? I'm not sure. Okay, so there's my starting point, right? And then what I'm going to do is just grab that, bring that over here. I want to scale it again a little bit. Yeah, I do want to scale it a little bit. Not too much though, but I want to scale it and then have it look good. Oh, I keep forgetting the shortcut buttons. I'm pressing the wrong buttons all the time. Okay, and then I do it again. Okay, so which one is it? It's... So you click. Oh, you click, then you hold the button. Ah, that's what it is. So it's the order of. Okay. So I want to make this a tiny bit smaller. So about there, I think, is good. So it's not much smaller, just tiny bit smaller. It kind of makes it look a little weird, but I'll clean that up. I'll make it look good. That's kind of, I think, going to be the size of it. We'll see how it looks. I think that's okay start for now. Once I clean it up a little bit more, it'll look better. It'll definitely look better. Getting there. Let's see, a few more pixels and I think it should be good. I'm not a big fan of these sticks sticking out like that. And it looks like, oh, okay, I don't know if I need to, but I feel like I should kind of straighten out this line. Yeah, I think I do need to. So let's try that. So if we straighten it out, it comes to about there. But it kind of loses that narrowness at the top. Does it matter? Kind of does. I don't know how to preserve that. Okay, let's not worry about it for now. We'll just keep going. I think that looks decent for now. Let's see. So how can I make this part look better? Because it kind of doesn't look great right now. Can go like that. I can extend this a little bit more, like so. But then it looks kind of... Actually, that doesn't look too bad. This side looks different. Why does it look different? Oh, I see. Okay. I think that looks okay. It's not perfect, and it's not going to be perfect, but I think it looks passable. I feel like there should be a little bit of a separation in between these here. So let's put one darker pixel kind of right there, or maybe more than one, like so. So that there's a little bit of a separation point. It's very subtle, but I think it kind of adds. You'll probably notice that I hit Control S a lot, so you'll constantly see this. That's from the programming days of working specifically with all these applications from back in the day over the years, like about 2 decades ago or so, when I really started to use a computer. They would crash so often. So instead of constantly going up here every minute or so, go file and then save, right? I just got used to hitting Control S, Control S, Control S. So it just subconsciously, I'm continuously pressing Control S like a crazy person. And I would say if any keyboard that I use, the way that I used it is because I'll probably wear out the two buttons, Control and S, out before any other buttons, because I'm continuously pressing them. Those are the two buttons that I'll wear out. And it saved me so many times, because you never know when applications are going to crash. Even in today's day and age, applications still do crash. So if you have something saved, it's better than not having something saved for like the past hour. And then you end up losing all of your work, which is really unfortunate. And nobody likes that. Nobody wants to redo work that they've already done just because the application crashed. That's just not fun. Okay, so at 100% scale, I think that looks pretty decent. So let's consider that okay for now. And then what we'll do then is we'll go and make the bubble for it now. These look the same. Oh, they're similar, not the same. Okay, I see. So the one that we want is this one here. I'll just grab from this and copy it over. That's not right, is it? This to here, this to here. Oh yeah, okay. And then this to here. That's too white. Still a bit too much. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. Yeah, let's go with that. And learning shortcuts is really good, to be honest. They're so helpful. Like, what I find useful here is even though I'm using the same tool, but by pressing Alt and holding Alt, you can sample a color and then go back to using the exact same tool you were using before. So the advantage there, of course, is that you don't have to switch between tools. You can just use the tool that you're using and keep on sampling whatever colors you want. And I find that very helpful. I think that's a good range. And it just makes the workflow, the overall workflow, so much easier. So I want to replace that with this color. Done. And of course, you see me reach for, whoops, no, I want to replace this with this. You'll see me reach for the keyboard, or not reach for it, but just look at my keyboard regularly because I don't remember some of the shortcuts. And it's partly due to using different keyboards. I use a completely different keyboard for work than I do in like as my personal computer. So it makes things a bit more challenging where the keyboard is not exactly the same size and the buttons are not in the same location and they have a different feel to them. It definitely makes things challenging. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to copy that over to here. And yeah, I think this will look good. I think this will look good. One more pixel. Oh, and that one there. Okay, and there's our bubble. So let's do the same. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. We'll take our bubble, bring it over here, take our highlight, bring that over as well. Okay. And then we'll copy this and put it right in the middle. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks passable for now. Of course, there'll be future iterations on these, But for right now, I do think that that looks pretty good. Okay, so next one then is going to be, so I've done almost this entire top row. May as well just do the last one in the top row, which is going to be the bag. And then we still need to do shield, jelly bean, and the experience, bonus experience. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So we'll go with the bag. Oops. For those of you that are just coming in to the broadcast, hello and welcome. Feel free to say hi. I noticed that not many people chat during my broadcast, and I'm not sure why. Maybe you guys are just here to hang out, or maybe you're not really into chatting and you just want to see me work on the project. That's perfectly fine. But you're also welcome to say hi or ask some questions if you have them. I don't mind. And if you want to listen to the same music that I'm listening to as well, just let me know and I'll tell you what I'm listening to and you can listen to it alongside me. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Okay, I think we do need to do this part as well. Yeah, so we'll do this and I'll clean it up later, of course, and make it look better. But for right now, I think that looks okay. Okay. So let's go with, actually probably this one for the dark color. It's kind of a bit strange to take artwork and then converting it into pixel art because you have to do some guesswork and you have to kind of average some pixels from one color to another to just kind of get things to fit, and things don't always work out, but sometimes they do work out and they turn out surprisingly well too. So that's definitely a nice little bonus when that does happen, but it doesn't always work out that way. I'm trying to just simplify the colors because I can always add detail later, but simplifying the colors kind of makes things a bit easier to visualize. So then when I go to add detail, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, and there's our bag, kind of. Okay, so that's our bag. Of course, I'm going to do the same and kind of modify it and scale it. Or maybe there's even a better type of bag that we can have for this. I'll definitely take a look. Oh, I missed some colors again. Whoops, that's fine. Wait. Why didn't that work? Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's going to be our base or our starting point. So we're going to start off here, and then we're going to make some adjustments. How do we want to make it look, though? I think we can do a better bag. Not sure how I misspelled that. Okay, that's fine. So we'll say bags. Okay, maybe more specifically, bag pixel art. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of good sample stuff here. Let's see. I think the initial results are probably the best. What is pouch? Let's have a look at that one. It looks kind of interesting. The number of pixels that we're going to be working with is very small, so I'm not looking to put high detail. I want it to be a low detail kind of bag, but at the same time, I want it to illustrate. That's an interesting idea. I have something similar to that in a different part of the same game. I actually do like that. I like that conceptually. That reminded me of what I previously had. So let's open that up and have a look at that and see what does that look like. Because I might want to go a different direction with the bag than the current one that I have right now. Just trying to see if there's anything appropriate. I thought I had one anyway. There it is. Yeah. So that's very similar to what I had. Conceptually, I kind of like that idea. So that versus this. What if we were to combine the two? Right? What if this was, instead of a closed bag, what if it was an open bag? So the top is open and you can see inside of it, right? Actually, before I do that, let's just copy it over. So this would be the open top, and then we would have the inside of the bag. Open just a little bit, not too much, but just enough to see the inner contents of the bag. right? And then inside the bag, what we could do is put some stuff into it. I keep pressing the wrong buttons. I'll clean it up, of course, but so if the bag was completely open, probably be something like that. And then inside of it, we could have some spheres as an example. So we could have some spheres. That would be, let's say, one sphere could have a blue one in there. And then how about a green one as well? Sure. Let's go with that. So the green one, we'll kind of put it in behind these two. Looks a little bit crowded, doesn't it? I think it's starting to get a bit too crowded, so we might need to rethink this conceptually. But so that would kind of be the idea. I think a little bit of darker edges will kind of make it stand out a bit more. Sorry if I'm zipping around and making you guys dizzy. Okay, and then one more being the green one. Something like that. I think that kind of makes a bit more sense in terms of the bag itself. I kind of don't mind this idea. I think it's worth exploring just to see where it goes. The colors, though, I'm not a big fan of the colors. I think the colors definitely have room for improvement. I'd like to use a different set of brown colors. Maybe even something like this. Nope, not dark enough. Probably this one. Way too dark. Okay, so I need something a little bit darker than this, but not too much darker. About there. Nope, Oops. Yeah, it seems about right. I'll need a bit darker as well, but for the most part, I think that's okay-ish. I think those colors kind of look better. But the bag itself, I need to make it look good somehow. I'm not sure how to make that look good. It's the wrong outline color. I think red makes more sense instead of green. Let's go with red, or kind of red anyway. Looks okay so far. The outermost color of the bag, though, it's a bit too dark. It doesn't quite fit. Need it to be dark for sure, but also appropriately dark. So maybe something like that. I think it seems a bit too light now. Yeah, it's too light. Okay. I'm still not sold on this idea. I think it's a good concept. I just don't see it in this current form. It doesn't look... it doesn't quite have the characteristics that I would like for it to have. I'm not very good at drawing bags. Maybe it's because it's got this weird deformation. What if we removed that deformation and made it a solid bag? So we're taking out that deformation that it has. And then give it a little bit of something else to kind of help make up for that. Let's go with this as well. Oh, now it's really big, the icon. I forgot about that. I wasn't supposed to make it a big icon. It's supposed to be a fairly small icon. Okay, so what can we put into it detail-wise? We can put in a Some kind of a pattern, maybe. That looks too, whoops. It looks too perfect of a pattern. It needs a little bit of deformation. No, not a big fan. This is what's hard about pixel art, is deciding what patterns to put in versus what you don't put in. What else can we do? Because this, I think, just needs something. What if we were to... Okay. What if we were to put a heart here of some sort? I know it doesn't really look like a heart, but I'm trying. What else can we do? We can do like a buckle, kind of like a bag buckle that kind of helps it close. We could try that, like a leather buckle. I'm not sure how I would draw that, because that would come down and it would need to clamp into some kind of a buckle. So it would be a belt buckle. Yeah, we could try that. Let's try that and see if a buckle concept works. It may not work, but it's worth a try. So we would go about here, and this will be an exaggerated large buckle, of course. How do we make it look like a buckle? There isn't enough pixels. Oh no. Okay, what if we were to just ignore that idea then and go with kind of like a strap thing that goes around? That could work maybe, right? So if it's like a strap thing that goes around, yeah, this is the part where it's difficult for me. I'm not sure what would be appropriate, but at the same time, I feel like there's something extra that's needed. Just not sure what that little extra thing would be, though, and how to implement it and make it look good. That's always a challenge. Hmm. What else can we try? It's too small to really illustrate an icon in the front. It's too... I don't know. I think I'm going to have to maybe just move on from this and move on to one of the other graphics and then think about this and come back to it at a later time. Is kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do here. So I'm spending quite a bit of time in just trying to figure out what would be appropriate. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll clean this up a little bit, though, before I move on, just so I kind of leave it in a better state than what it is right now. I think that's not bad, but at the same time, I really do feel like there's something else that I could be adding to improve on this bag. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to move on from it. I can't seem to find something I'm content with for right now. So what I'll do is just move on. Yeah. Whoops. That's not what I meant to do, of course. Okay, so we'll move this over here. And then let's move some of these colors over. I really like this search and replace feature. It's something I wished I understood earlier. Oops. Oh no. It's something I definitely wish I understood earlier, just because it's so nice to be able to just go search and replace and have it just do what you wanted it to do. Okay, so there's our base, and then our little bit of a highlight color. Okay, and there's our nice little yellow bubble. That there. That here. Okay. And then move this into here. Yeah, I'm really not too happy about this, but I think the original was okay. It was. It's just that I felt like it needed more. But then by attempting to do more, I didn't really achieve what I wanted to, but that's okay. I spent enough time on it. I just want to move on. Okay, so 3 more icons to do. Okay, so we can try the shield next, I guess, and we'll just go in order. Shield, jelly bean, and then experience. So the shield, I think, is not going to be too difficult, but we'll see how that goes. I do want to deviate from this shield design to make it something that's a bit more appropriate for pixel art, but we'll get there after I get it to that point where we can deviate from it. So let's see how this turns out, and then we'll have a look at it and see what we can do to kind of improve on it. Okay, and then let's go with our inner blue kind of thing. Okay, so whoops. I think that looks okay so far. Okay, so there's our starting point for the shield. I know it doesn't look that great, but we'll improve on it. I'm confident we can find something good. Okay, so I'm definitely not going to do Zelda. As cool as that is, I don't think I could get away with a Hyrule shield. But we got some room. We got some space. I like this kind of pattern, but again, I'm not sure what kind of pattern I would put onto it. Maybe a star of something like this, but I like there being a kind of like an outer border and then an inner, and then from there make something. That looks really cool, but I don't think I could make something like that, and I don't want to duplicate the work that someone else has done, as cool as that looks. Something like this one here, I think also looks pretty cool. I just don't know personally how I would create something like that. So what we want to do, let's see, shield wise. Okay, so we need to bring it down a little bit in size. So let's grab that, move it over here, and then let's scale it a little bit. Let's freeform scale it actually. So about this size is kind of what I'm thinking. So it's a little bit smaller, but not too much smaller. So we have some canvas space to work with in terms of trying to make something cool. So we definitely have a little bit of space, but not too much though. Okay, for shield, we can make left and right even. So I guess I can just focus on one side and then kind of figure out the other side afterward. So let's see what we can kind of come up with here. What I'd like to do is trim off the top, kind of round that off a bit. Let's bring this up maybe, kind of like this. So we got a little bit of a curve there. And then what we'll do is kind of bring this down to about here maybe. Then let's see if we can kind of extrude that out or have an indentation which gives the appearance that it's being extruded out, but really we're not extruding it out any more than it already is. Let's see, and then we can maybe move this up a little bit. I want to see if I can have a connection point in the middle area. But to do that, we would need to actually take this up quite a bit more. So about there, and then from here, what we can do is maybe go something like this, and then we'll have an icon of some sort in the middle, which connects to this. And of course, once it's colored, it'll look better. But then this will also have kind of a bit of a bordering similar to that one that we seen in that graphic. Actually, the center point could be a star. Yeah, we could do with a star. So let's remove that actually. We'll leave it empty for now. I just want to focus on this part here. So what we can do is this line will need to be a bit darker, of course. I just want to get rid of this stuff that's kind of in the way and see how we can make this look good somehow. I think it should be possible. So then this goes across this way. We have a star in the middle. It'll take up quite a bit of space, but that's okay. I don't mind. I really don't mind if it takes up some space in the middle area. What if we just had a really big star? Can we make a star? No. Nope. Okay. I do have some stars, I think, in some of the different areas of it. So where do we have a star? Okay, so we have one on the pillar, but that's way too big. Way too big. Where else am I using a star? Oh, we could do wings. We could do wings like this. I kind of like that idea. So this would go kind of in the middle of it. I just don't know if there's enough space to fit that in there. So if we go wings to the middle, the wings will reach all the way out. So then let's try that. Let's try it and see if that works. So we'll borrow from here. Yeah, that's way too big. I think we'll need to kind of bring it down in size quite a bit, but it might work though. It might. Nope. There we go. Wow, I remembered it. Cool. I guess it's just as easy as going like this. I just want to remove the extra stuff from it because I'm going to scale it. And we'll see how the scaling turns out. A little bit more to go, and we should kind of have it cleaned up, kind of. I'm still not used to it jumping a whole pixel thing there. Okay, so that's going to be our reference. So if that's our reference, let's go over here and try scaling it. So when scaled to about it could work. Of course, I'll need to clean this up a little bit. So let's try that. Okay, I will need to make these colors darker, considerably darker. for it to stand out in the area that it's going to be used in, I think. But let's see how this looks though. So if we take that, remove it, take this, copy it, Shift H to flip it. Oh, it's a bit dark. I forgot. Needs a little bit of light colors, and it should be good. I can't seem to quite get it to look right. Whatever. Okay, so that's kind of the idea. So we would take this and put it on top of the shield and then make it stand out. So the outer lines will have to be darker, the inner colors will have to be lighter. Let's try that. So if we take this and then simplify it, actually, no, I didn't want to do that. Okay, let's try this. So how does this look if we just look at it from a half point? Not great, not great, not yet, but we'll get there. I think this might be a good direction. Just got to keep at it a little bit. And we'll see where it goes. Okay, let's make these colors darker so they stand out a bit more. I thought I made it darker. And then we'll need to make the inner colors a bit lighter. This still needs to be darker by quite a bit. So let's go and make that darker. I think we need to make the wings a lighter color still, like almost white, but not quite white is kind of what I'm thinking. Something like that. Let's see. If I went with almost white, so then this would be the darker color. Whoops. And this would be the lighter color. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, so with our shield though, shield kind of looks okay. But if we take it and let's darken up the colors a little bit. So we'll go with, yeah, we definitely need some darker colors here for now. Yeah, we'll just darken it up for now, and then I'll see if I need to make it lighter later on. I can definitely do that. Then if we take this, duplicate it, flip it. Okay, so this would kind of be our shield. Then we take this and put it on top of the shield, right? I don't think that's bad, personally. I really don't think that's bad. I think it needs a bit more work, of course, but conceptually, I think it's really not bad. Right? I think this could work as our shield. And the icon isn't too big, but at the same time, I think it's kind of appropriate for what it is, but I do think I want to change the gem color. The gem color inside, I'm kind of thinking maybe like, because I have a lot of blue, I want this background here to have this blue color. So I want this to be blue, but the gem, I want it to be a different color, is kind of what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? Yeah? I'm glad we agree. Okay, so that's what I'll do then. And I think I'll lighten up the wings again a bit more too, because I don't want them to have that gray. I want it to be a softer gray. So let's do that. I could even change the gem to a heart. No, I'm using that elsewhere. Let's keep it as a gem, but we'll make it a reddish color. What do we got for red colors? Let's go with this, and we'll sample from this. So we'll sample for this, for the red colors. And I think we should be able to get this to look pretty decent. Right? And then the shield itself needs a little bit of coloring. What I'll do is add a little bit of shadow, a little bit of shadow casting here because of the gem and the wings. So it casts a little bit of shadow there. That means if it's shadow casting, then, then these will also cast shadows. So then we could add maybe a little bit of highlighting. Yeah, I don't know about that. Highlighting would probably go down here, actually. If at all. But then what about a little bit of curvature of shadow? Because this is supposed to be Oh, that is the color. Okay, we'll just take this color and make it a tiny bit darker. Just a little bit of shadow. Because I want to imply that the shield is not perfectly flat and it has a little bit of curvature to it. Right? So the shield has a tiny bit of curvature. That could work. We need a little bit of highlighting in this area, and this area, and this area. We'll need a little bit of shadowing in these bottom areas, just a tiny bit, not too much. I'm thinking actually the outer kind of the ring should be brown to imply wood instead of being gray, because gray seems kind of dull in this case. I don't want to make it look like steel, but at the same time, I'm not sure what else I can make it look like given my current understanding of colors. What I do want to do is I want to take these wings though and make them quite a bit lighter. And I do mean quite a bit lighter. Yeah, about there. Okay, so this will be like so. Maybe even change the color of the wings, because they don't have to be this grayish white. They could be something else entire. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. They don't have to be a grayish white. They could be something else entirely. I wonder if we add the little corner, does that help? I actually like that. Okay, so we won't need this reference. So we got our red. That red should be darker at the bottom though. Slightly darker at the bottom. What happened there? Oh, whoops, wrong layer. That's what happened. I had the wrong layer selected. That's my bad. Okay. All right, so that's too dark. Too dark. Let's go back to here. Right about there. It's not much, but it's enough. Then maybe even soften this up a little bit in the top. A little bit. Because I do want to try to make it look like a gem. Though that's proving to be rather difficult. Okay. No. I'm not sure. Either way, I think you kind of get the idea. It's kind of got that classic kind of feel to it without having too much detail. Even though it has way more colors than I initially thought it was going to end up having. The wings, though, I'm still not sold on the wings nor this outer color here. I think if this was made into kind of like maybe a leatherish brown, maybe something like this actually. Let's try that. Let's try that and see. So if this was made into a brownish color, how would that look? Not the right brown color. Let's go with this one then. That kind of gives it a bit of a gold feel. I kind of like that now that I think about it. It almost feels like it's gold, like a gold trim. I like that conceptually. Let's go with that idea. Let's go with that goldish brown kind of idea and see, oops, how that looks. I think that'll look better than just the grayish silver kind of look that didn't really work anyway, because it looked more like I don't know what it looked like, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so that's our highlights. Let's grab a different dark color here that's appropriate for this. So we'll bring this down, bring that down, like way down, about there, maybe. Nope. Further. Kind of, though not really. Nope. Still not quite there. Needs a bit more, maybe on the yellow side, and then bring it down to about here. It looks more green. How about over here? I think that's much closer to the color that I was thinking of. Oops. Yeah, I think that could work. Let's go with that for now. I think it was good. Like, that was quite the journey too, though. Like, when you think about it, we went from this, right? So we went from that to this, to this, to this, to this, and then to this. That is quite the drastic change, but a good one too, because I think this one, conceptually, the colors are not quite there, and I'll be the first one to admit it. Colors are not quite there, and there's definitely room for some cleanup, but I think the overall, though, I think it gets the point across, and that's what's important, right? So let's go ahead and make the bubble for it, and then see what it looks like in the bubble. Oh, these share the same bubble color. Wait, what am I talking about? Where's... Oh, that's what I did. So that's the wrong bubble color. Whoops. That's what I did wrong. Okay, so I was supposed to make the kind of the violet color. So we got violet and we got purple. I can never tell the difference between them because they're so close to each other. And I made the wrong one. Okay, so this gray actually belongs to the... oh, that is not intentional. So this gray belongs to the shield. So we'll move that up there, and we'll make a bubble for that one too. Okay, so the moment of truth to see how does this look. I would say that looks pretty decent, if I can say that. And I do have a bit of a biased opinion, of course, but oh, it doesn't quite center. That's unfortunate. It doesn't center. Oh, no, it's always lopsided. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. I don't care. I think it looks pretty decent, though. So there's our shield, which I think is very symbolic of a shield that will protect you. Yeah. Okay, so then we have our shield. What we need to do is make the bubble for the gray cube. That's what I missed earlier. So then that just leaves us the jelly bean and the experience. What I'll do is grab this over here. Close enough. Yeah, I think that works. So we'll do a quick search and replace. And then we should have our little bubble for our gray cube that we just made. Okay. And then we'll, of course, need the little highlight for that. Okay, and there's our bubble for this guy that we accidentally gave his bubble to somebody else. That looks about right. Let's reposition that a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I think that looks good. Okay, so we have 2 more items to go, 2 more pickup items. And then I can, if we got time, I'd like to actually export these and bring them into the game and see what do they look like in the game itself. That always helps me visualize things much better. Okay, so now comes the difficult one, or at least the one that I think is going to be the most difficult one, being the jelly bean. The bubbles themselves are pretty easy to make. You guys seen me make it in just pretty much no time. And the bubbles too. Later on when we go to do the pickup items, I reused some of these, I think, or similar, because they already made, right? And the bubbles, they act as kind of like a little container for pickup items, such as when you're picking up, when you're doing pet combat, not within the game room, of course, but within the world, when you're battling with your pet against monsters and they drop items. I use the bubbles for pickup items of different rarity, right? Like the purple and whatnot will be of a different rarity. The jelly bean will always have this pretty much as a pickup. But then I like to use the different colors for the different rarity of the item. So, you know, just by looking at the bubble of the item that got dropped, not only do you see the icon, but symbolically it represents an item of a higher value, which I also like. So that's another nice little thing about these bubbles. But I haven't done that yet in 3D, because the way that it works is it's going to be 3 quads. One of them is going to be the back. So example for this one of them would be the back. So that's one quad. The other one is the graphic, and the other one is the highlight that goes on top. And the 3 of them are pretty much sandwiched together to give the appearance, and then of a container for an item you can pick up, and then the cube collider allows you to interact with it as a pickup, and then the transparency would be applied to the back or to the front, the highlight color, and to the back, while the inner object stays at 100%, not transparent. So I think that works pretty good, and it's worked quite well in the, wow, that really stands out from the rest of them, doesn't it? I wish this one turned out as good. This one just, something about it, it just didn't feel right. It almost looks like a cardboard box in a way, rather than a bag. But I'll clean that one up. I'll make it look good later on. But the pickup items, I think, they add a lot. And if you've seen one of the previous broadcasts or one of the dev journals where I used particle effects. So there will be a particle effect for when the object is dropped. And then also I want to try to do some stuff when it's picked up as well, with some sound effects, and just make it look really good, like aesthetically pleasing. Appropriate for the game, of course, and not over the top kind of thing. Because nobody wants over-the-top visual graphics where it takes away from the game instead of contributing value-wise to it. So, okay. Jelly bean. Jelly bean, if you're not familiar with it, it is the currency within the game itself. So jelly beans are quite important. And even though they may seem like they're difficult to obtain, once you've played and you understand jelly beans and where they come from and how to get them, it gets easier and easier as the game progresses. Of course, to obtain a large quantity of them will always be challenging, and intentionally by design. But that doesn't mean it's impossible to accumulate a good amount and then put it towards something that's useful for you and of whatever you want to spend it on. Okay, so I think that's good for the outer. So let's go with the inner. So we'll kind of go like this. And then probably this one. And then that highlight is a bit too much, so I will take this as my start point. So this will be our starting point of the jelly bean. We'll use that as the reference. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to change the color of the outermost. So let's clean that up a little bit. Wait, what did I do there? Want to replace that. Oh, I see. I went in the wrong order. Replace with this, and then go back to here and darken it up. Wait, that didn't work? Or did I do it wrong? I think I did it wrong. Yeah, I must have done it wrong. Okay, so I want to replace this with this. Yeah, I did it wrong. Okay, so that'll be our starting point. And then again, we need to scale it. So let's bring that into this position here. Move it over here. Okay, and let's grab it and just scale that a little bit. I think about there kind of makes sense. Let's see, scale-wise. Yep, that seems okay. We'll tweak it, of course. Let's move it over here. And then let's clean it up a bit. So what we want to do is probably go outward just a tiny bit there. Probably bring that in. Yeah, this one's going to be a bit difficult for me to do. It kind of looks like a piece of gold, but that's not what I'm implying. I do want it to be a jelly bean. How do you make a jelly bean look like a jelly bean? Let's ask Google. Oh, I see. So they're going with a completely different approach, which is fine. So this is kind of the look that I want to roughly achieve, but in pixel art format. I want it to have a certain aesthetic to it, but it's really difficult to do in pixel art. I'm not sure how to do that. Because there's only so many pixels. Well, there has to be a better reference. Let's keep looking. Let's go with vector. What do we want? Sphere. So if we can borrow conceptually from a vector sphere, I'm not sure. But I think I'll just have to experiment with it for a while and see what I can find in terms of finding a happy medium of something that I'm satisfied with and something that works for the project. So instead of sphere, let's go with oval. No, that's not really all that helpful. Let's see what else I can find. What about this one here? Conceptually, yeah, but how do we make this work? How do we make it work with pixel art? That's the question. So the top, now if I build it out in layers, actually, it might be easier for me. I think that would make it easier. Let's try that. So we'll go with a 64 by 64. Okay. Okay, so there's our graphic. So what we'll do is we'll have a bunch of layers. So we'll have our base, we'll have a bunch of other colors, and we'll use transparencies to kind of to merge them. So let's do that. And then what we'll do is we'll take this one, we'll move it as a reference up to the top here. And then, yeah, I think that's good enough. Just something to look at and see where we're kind of going direction-wise. Yeah, let's do that. We'll build it up. Okay, so the color that I do like is, I like this color. I think that could be useful. I think this could be useful. I think this could be useful. The other colors I'm not really a fan of. But we'll just take it because it's there. Okay, so with those colors, what I want this to be is, I want this to be the base. So that's going to be our base color. Let's bring that down and we'll make a kind of a outline color. Or do we add it as a shadow color? I think this could work as a bit of a shading color. Okay, and then I want to make a an outline color, probably something close to maybe that. Okay, so let's consider that as our base color. And then what we want is we want a highlight color. So this will be, we'll make this pure white. And it will kind of fill in, oops, I guess it doesn't matter. For a second there, I thought it was one layer. So I was like, oh no. I do want a bit of a separation. Okay, and then we'll lighten this one out. Then what we can do is actually probably move this one over about there. Let's actually reduce it. So we'll reduce it there, but then we'll add it down here. No, that doesn't work. This one down here will need to be a darker and different color potentially. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Just so used to hitting Control S. Okay, but I want to add a mixture of yellow and orange together. So how can we kind of make it look like we're mixing colors here? Almost like a transition, but not quite a transition. How can we do that? What if we were to go back to this layer and move this a bit more towards the red? Maybe not quite that much. So about there. And then what we need is this inner layer. Let's save that. I guess we already have it there. Never mind. What I'd like to do is have the inner layer kind of be, I keep forgetting which layer we're on. I want this to be a bit more, we'll say, orange. Not quite the orange I was looking for. Maybe we went the wrong direction there. I knew this was going to be difficult. What about our original reference? So we used orange on the outside, and then we used yellow on the inside as we got closer to the middle. So an orangish red to yellow transition. I'm not sure how to do that. So let's assume that's our orange. or orangish red. And then we'll go a bit more orange. Nope, that definitely doesn't work. Because I'm trying to achieve a similar result with minimal number of colors, but I don't know if that's realistically possible. Okay, so that's our topmost layer. So let's go here and add another, which will be just purely the highlight. Okay, so then we got that layer. We're not using this one. Okay, so let's see what we can do with this one. Let's see if we can add kind of like a yellowish kind of color in the middle here. That might help blend the two. Kind of, but not really. I think it's this this outer color. It looks kind of bad. This color right here. This needs to be more of a complementary color than something that's so drastic. It still kind of looks like gold to me rather than something else. Like, I'm not sure what to do there. I'm really not sure what to do about that color. Okay, let's go back to this and then try making this one. Let's go with a bit more on the yellow side. I mean, it's not great, but still, it's not terribly bad. It just didn't achieve that result that I wanted to. The outer color, of course, is also a contributing factor. So let's remove these and go back to the base. And then let's lighten up the coloring on certain areas, but not all of it, of course. Still not quite what I want. We'll keep messing with it until we get something. What if we were to adjust the transparency of this one? Would that make a difference? Not really. A little bit, but not that much. I'm really trying to make it look like a tasty jelly bean. So let's go back to here and have a look at what does a jelly bean look like. Let's go with just a jelly bean. What does a jelly bean look like? I guess that's as good as any. So jelly beans, most of the time they're not transparent, but we're trying to exaggerate some of the colors a little bit, of course. So this one might not be a good example. Let's go to a different example. Maybe this one. How can we preserve the aesthetics? Though these don't quite fit our use case, I'm trying to make it stylized, like a semi-transparent jelly bean of sort. Okay, so these look a little bit transparent, kind of. It's mostly because of the lighting that's on them, of course, but so how do we capture that? Coloring definitely plays a big factor in it. And then reflection of light and how light affects it also plays a factor. So, oh, sorry, I forgot which screen you guys get to see. Let's see what we can do. So that's going to stay the same. This one, let's borrow from this one. Let's see if we can leverage this to our advantage here. Kind of. Though not really. Okay, so this one I think needs to be a bit more of a yellowish intentionally. So let's try this. So then when we apply the transparency, we bring these back. Okay, so it gives us a little bit of differentiation in the colors, but okay, so let's assume that's kind of the direction we want to go with that. Though I think this should be a different yellow because it looks kind of lime yellow. I want it to be a orangish yellow. And then we're right back to where we were. Okay, so maybe not quite that, but let's go with something that's stronger then. Okay, that's fine. And then, so then that brings us back to here. I think it's this middle piece here that's kind of thrown me off a little bit. So let's try making that a bit more stronger in the orange or orangish red. Definitely not that. No. There's a certain style that I want. I just don't know how to get it. Maybe it's not about darker. Maybe it's about lighter. Kind of. Kind of. Let's try a different outline color and see if that makes a difference at all. Let's go with about there. So I want to intentionally try a bit of a red and see what does it look like. Still, it looks like, whoops. It looks kind of like a piece of gold, really. Which is what I was trying to avoid. I just don't know how to quite get that look. I think I should just accept what I have for now. I think that would be the smarter choice, and then just move on to some of the other stuff, and then come back to this later when I got time, because this is okay progress-wise. I think this is a good point in the overall iteration of this object, and it looks okay, but it doesn't quite achieve that look that I want, right? And the only way I was able to do this is by going in and doing it through layers with transparencies. Because if I was to try to just draw this as one flat layer, I don't think I could achieve this. So let's save this actually. So this is Jelly Bean V1. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this. Really? Okay. So we'll export it. So now that I have it in the exported, wrong folder. Now that I have it in the exported folder, I'm just going to go grab the flattened image and then bring it into our yeah, and there's our fantastic jelly bean. So we will open up Jelly Bean V1 PNG. Just want this piece of it. That's all I need right now. Okay. And then that will go into, yeah, this is the right layer. So here's where we're at. Then I'm going to make a bubble and put it in there. Okay, and that's going to be our jelly bean. So jelly bean goes inside of this kind of a bubble. So we'll need to make a appropriate bubble for that. Should be easy enough to do. And then we'll use the search and replace, of course, which is very handy. Okay, so that's our base of the bubble. I can barely see that. I don't think I can modify it here. I can't see it. We'll move it over. Move that there, and then just going to copy this one. We'll leave that in its spot. It seems like I got a little bit of the other one too, which is fine. Not a big deal. Not sure what that dot is. Oh, okay. Okay, so I want to sample pretty much this color here, I guess. Okay, and then let's move it into position and see what our progress looks like. Okay, and there's our jelly bean pickup. That was a lot of effort just to get that, but it's an important item or icon because it represents symbolically something that's of value, so it makes sense to put a little bit of time into it. I just couldn't quite get that look that I wanted. Whatever. I'll have another go at it some other time. Okay, so that brings us to our last item, the EXP. This one is text, but I still do want to mimic it. Of course, we can't do a kind of a gradient glow on the outside. It'll likely just have to be a hard border, but I think we can achieve the same conceptually, and then of course scale it down as well, and still kind of preserve the aesthetics a little bit. So let's see what we can do here. I'm not sure what my game plan is going to be for this, to make this one look good, but I'll have to figure it out. Similar to like the jelly bean and the other items you guys see me working on, I'm just gonna have to figure it out and see what looks good and what I guess doesn't. It's good enough for now. And then this part, it's going to be difficult to make it look good, because it's just 3 characters, right? How do you make 3 characters look good? I don't really know, but we'll give it a try. Okay, we need to scale it. So we need to scale it, and then we need to sample some colors and bring some color into it. Scale wise, let me, whoops. The history on this application is a bit awkward. Sometimes I don't know exactly what happens. It accepts some things as history within history that you can undo to, but other things not so much. I guess history is selective of what can be in history and what is not in terms of being able to undo and go back a step. So I'm not really sure. That looks pretty bad. I think I'm just going to have to wing it. I don't think there's any other way, really. So let's get the text portion out of the way. So it's E, X, and P. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's going to be difficult. That's going to be difficult to do, because whatever I do is going to be very limited. Let's go and sample some colors. So it's E, X, and P, and then with a very bright red bordering around it. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that's about as good as I can get it. That's difficult to do. That's really difficult. Oops. I don't know what to do about this one. I think I'm just going to have to accept it for what it is. It's going to be difficult. It'll be all about the bubble, really, and how well the colors of the bubble work with the colors of the text and the bordering of the text. I think we'll just have to go with it. That's fine. Let's just go with it. I'd really like to bring these graphics in that I've just made and bring it into the game and see what it looks like, because then it has a whole different type of presence, and I understand it much better when I see it in the game versus when I just look at it like this. So if I'll do this and see if we got time to bring the graphics into the game and do a quick look. Oh yeah, I still need to build the object that will assemble these now that I think about it. I don't have a prefab object yet that can assemble in layers a pickup item. Wait, why is this bluish? That's the wrong color. It looks bluish. Up here, this looks kind of okay. But down there, it looked kind of bluish. Okay, whatever. I'll just make my own green. Close enough. Okay, so we'll replace this with this. And then we'll replace this with this. Okay, and then we just need to do the highlight. Again, I can't see the highlight. It's way too it's way too bright. I can't see it. So what we'll do is we will bring it into position. That's hardly any difference. I can't really see a difference, but I'm going to assume that there is one. Okay, and we'll put our bubble pretty much right here. Okay, and then we'll take our little icon and bring it in there. Up maybe one and to the right. It doesn't center. Oh, great. Another one of these. Okay, that's fine. So there's our icons. I think we got all of them. Yeah. I think the shield really turned out well, though. I think that looks pretty cool, like from a design point of view. The colors definitely need some improvement, but I think the shield works well. The jelly bean, I don't know about that one. Maybe I just need some time to think about it. The bag, again, I need to have another go at that. The cube, that was pretty easy, turned out fine. The popsicle, I think, is okay. The fireball or power-up pickup is okay. The boot, I think that turned out well. The colors, I think I might want to experiment with some different colors, but I think that looks okay too. And then the explosive, I think this one turned out fine. Though the coloring seems a bit off. I think it needs a little bit different coloring here. That's fine. Time-wise, okay. So how do we bring this in from a graphical point of view? So we'll need the icons separate, and then we'll need the bubbles separate as well. And the bubbles will need to be split, similar to how I had them in Flash. and then assemble them based on the positioning of the graphic and the texture. I'm not sure how to do that right now. I'll need to, how to visualize it in my mind, because it's kind of reached end of day for me, where my logic just isn't quite there. I don't know if I can do technical stuff right now. What I can do is I can do some prep work for exporting. Yeah, let's do that. So prep work for exporting, I'm going to want the icons, and we'll put them in their own layer. So export, we'll make a new layer and we'll call it pickup items, because items encompasses everything. It can be objects, it can be items, it can be whatever. Everything pickup item related we'll put into that layer. So let's hide the other ones and then unhide that one layer. And we'll copy and paste some stuff into there. Let's do that. Okay, so items. I just want the final copy. Or, yeah, I just want the final copy. Okay, I'll move them around, but for right now, I just want to get them kind of out of the way. Okay, so there's our speed boost. EXP. Jelly bean. Got 5 more to go. Our awesome little shield there. I'm not sure I understand the paste positioning when you go to paste something in this application. It seems like it's never where I would like for it to go. And I don't understand why. So if I copy from there, and I'm way over here, my mouse is over here, and I paste. Yeah, I don't understand that. What is that offset? What affects that offset on the copy and paste? Because usually it's where your mouse is, right? It samples from the object and it'll paste to where your mouse is, or at least to some degree in relation to your mouse. But I don't understand this. Okay, so one last item. Wait, what is the last item? What are we missing? We got everything except for the power up. this is the last item that we're missing. Okay, so there's our power-ups, and then let's go do the bubbles as well. How do I want to do that? I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll just grab them and go, is there a better way of doing this? I think there is. But then I'll probably mess it up. Yeah, let's keep going like this then for now. And I'm not sure what happened there. Go here. Select this. Copy that. Where's my item? I'm pasting, but I'm not getting anything. So let's go back here again. No, it's the right layer. So we select the layer, Control C to copy, right? Move up to here, select our layer, Control V to paste. Oh wow, did it paste it off screen? That's why I couldn't see it. That is quite the offset. I'm not sure I understand that. I really don't understand that pasting. It's one of those things with Sprite that I don't understand it. It could just be me that I'm doing something wrong or I'm misunderstanding something. I just don't get it though. Like that copy and paste, it doesn't make sense. Okay, anyway. So we're copying from that. Go back to here. Paste. Okay, so that worked. Okay, so we didn't get it with its transparency, which is good, because we're going to apply that transparency later via script. Let's put it right beside, so we know pretty much that these two are together. Okay, so that's one bubble. Then we got a bunch more to go. Wow, I'm really feeling that exhaustion right now, that it's end of day. And the weather's getting warm. It's actually quite warm. Summer's finally here. It's interesting. We've had kind of cloud and rain for so long. I've been used to it and the shorter days. And then all of a sudden, the days are so much longer and it gets darker much later. I'm just not used to it. I'm so used to still the cold season with the shorter days. It's something that I'll get used to over time, I'm sure. But then by the time I get used to it, then it'll change again. So it's one of those things. Take it for what it's worth. I want to leave a little bit of space in between because I'll put the highlighting to the left of it. That way it should be easier to identify which object goes with which object. And then, like I said, I'll assemble these via script. So for right now, I mean, the coloring really isn't that different. I could just have the same one being used on all of them, but I think it makes sense to have a little bit of a different color that is more appropriate for the highlight of the bubble that it's going to be applied to, because then likely later on I'm going to change it some more too. Maybe I want to add something else, right? Or differentiate even between them. So I think it's better to just do it right the first time, and then later it'll give me more versatility as well. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. If you're new to the stream and you're curious about the project, let me know. I can give you a little bit of information about the project. But other than that, if you're a regular, hope you're having a good day and looking forward to the weekend, of course. I'm pretty much getting near end of day. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I think I'm going to be wrapping it up soon. I would have liked to bring this stuff in and have a look at it in the project, but right now I just can't do, I'm not in the right state of mind to do logic. What I need to do is create a prefab and then make that prefab be able to assemble any bubble with any icon inside of it using 3 quads and apply any other transform or transparencies, including loading assets. Yeah, loading assets or resources that I tell it to load via script, and then put it in position for pickup, and then maybe do a bit of particle effects and stuff like that too to make it look good. But that'll be for another day. Okay, I was going to grab the highlight. So yeah, I'm not going to attempt something like that right now. I'll just stick with the easy stuff and then call it for today, and then do some more stuff. Actually, it's going to be a busy weekend for me. I don't know if I'll have an opportunity to work on the project. Hopefully I will, but it's going to be a very busy weekend for me. And for any of you that are regulars that have been playing the game for a while, I still haven't gotten much feedback about the idea that I kind of put out there the other day in terms of having a regular scheduled time or day that we can just hop online and play together with the old Flash client, and be able to play in like maybe game rooms or world with our pets. And then later, that'll kind of establish as like an ongoing thing. And later, once this new cross-platform client is ready, we can transition that over to playing on the cross-platform Unity client. And I don't know, I think that'd be fun. But if you guys like that idea, just let me know. And I'll see what I can do about scheduling something. Right now, I really haven't gotten much in terms of feedback about it. I've seen a little bit of chatter in Discord about it, but no one's mentioned anything to me directly. So I don't want to make any assumptions. If you guys like that idea, by all means, let me know. And I'll see how we can make that happen. I was really thinking more like something very basic, so it doesn't take up too much of anyone's time. But it'll give us an opportunity to schedule a time and just meet up online and be able to play together and have some fun. Because the game rooms, they get pretty intense and chaotic, and they're really fun. So I really like that about the game rooms. And then the world, we get to play with our pets. It's very just chill and, relax and very just laid back kind of gameplay. And it's also quite fun because it's so relaxing. Just sit there with your pets or hang out, defeat some enemies, do some quests, maybe combat with some bosses, do some quests, see if you can get any good items or whatnot. And eventually, we'll be able to play on the new Unity client, which will be really fun. And I think we're all looking forward to it. And there's a guest appearance from our dog, our neighborhood dog, who will bark at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning at nothing and just bark for like an hour straight. Yeah. I do like dogs, but it's really the owners that are at fault when dogs do that. Okay, almost there. Very close. Yeah, and I won't be able to see what these look like completely until I bring them into the game and apply the transform, transparencies, shadows, and anything else. And then at that point, I'll see what it actually looks like in the game, which is very important because until I see it in the game, I can't really visualize it to that extent, because then there might be some other tweaks or changes that I need to make that I just can't foresee right now, which is something I will have to consider or come back and make revisions on later on. So that's why it's really important to be able to see kind of like not a like polished product, but a kind of assembled how is it going to look in the game kind of product in terms of the creation of whatever it is that you're making. Okay. And there's our bubbles. So this is going to be my export. This is it right here. So what I'll be doing is if I have a chance to do it over the weekend, I will. But so I'll be exporting this. I'll need to make a prefab that can take the pieces and put them together. And then later on, of course, the items, the pickup items, all the equipment, the potions or candy and crafting stuff and everything, that'll also go into some form of a bubble. I might need to make a few more bubble colors, but I think for the most part, though, that's kind of the idea. And yeah, well, either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that follow button and share. And you're welcome to join the Discord, of course. Discord is more about just playing the game. It's not so much about development, but I do share my development progress. Like I'm going to take a screenshot of some of this stuff and just paste it in there just to show the community members what the stuff looks like. I do write dev journals about the project every 2 to 3 weeks generally. And if you want to know my broadcast schedule or when I go live, just follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and I do broadcast or multicast, should I say, on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time. So whichever platform you prefer, you're welcome to it. But yeah, so that's going to be it for me today. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you next time.